what are you trying to accomplish with this? What's the bottom
By
line?
flattening the hierarchy and creating teacher leader positions.
Is there this model someplace else that you're familiar with?
I've talked to probably 20, 30 districts in trying to figure out how to flatten the hierarchy. There are some districts that just eliminate the middle level management, so there would be no coordinators. There are some that have one or two coordinators, generally math, science, English language arts. We have those two positions. I'm not recommending that those be changed. So there are a lot of different scenarios.
I would just say too that I don't like the idea of adding a one-year position, because those have a way of becoming necessary, and I don't feel too cool about that. With all due respect, it just feels like a lot of smoke and mirrors, and maybe that's just me, because I'm not getting it. I don't see the advantage. It doesn't seem flattening, but spreading out, and the dollars are not an advantage. There's lots left to be negotiated. I'm just not. This is better than the picture, but for me, it's not enough of a narrative. I don't understand enough about how it's going to play out to be comfortable just supporting it, just supporting all of these changes. I'm not. I always wondered why we didn't just have a human resources person. Why that's not an option. You told us all along that Patty does too much. Why not just remove that? And I have never heard any discussion about it. I guess I don't understand the advantage to what you've proposed to just feel comfortable saying yes.
Mr. Person.
Question for Dr. Conway. If you eliminate positions in the administrative union, I mean, you're adding some, taking some away. Is that an issue? Is that
The number is equal to we're taking some away and adding some. Right now we have actually 4 people in positions. 2 of them are retired. And so each year that we ask them to come back, we have to go through the State Department, prove that we need the position, et cetera. So those 2 people would not be working for us next year. The other 2 people, however, there are those 2 people now, and there are 2 full-time positions, 4 half-time positions.
So we'd end up with the same number, so there's not going to be a
Correct. Correct. It would be just the assignments and what those are and who's doing what work.
Gotcha.
Ms. Fisher.
I just want to say in response to what Mrs. Arn had said, I didn't understand this coming into tonight completely, but I think at least you swayed me a little bit more in that the fact that you are bringing more of it down to the teachers who are the ones who have to implement changes. And so to me, it makes sense that they are part of figuring out the changes. Like the subject leaders, they work with other teachers. So I do think that's better to involve the teachers as opposed to an administrator saying you have to do this. They're part of the process.
Ms. Goldrich.
Can we go back to the coordinator of world and second languages? Currently, that is a half-time position, the other half-time being coordinator of assessment.
Correct.
If that position goes to full-time world language department head, who will be doing the coordinator of assessment? Or will you be hiring for that position or reassigning it to someone else?
No, right now someone is doing that .5 assessment position, and that person would be picking up one of the other .5 positions. And department head is a stipended position for teachers.
So the person who is doing, we have one person who is the coordinator for world and second languages and coordinator of assessment.
Correct.
Currently.
Correct.
So if that person chooses to go be the world language department head,
That's a teaching position.
1.0.
That's a stipend position. That's a teaching position. Someone's a teacher and does that
Okay.
in addition to their teaching.
Does the 0.5.
No, is department head.
Okay. So you'll be hiring to cover the assessment position.
No, we have 2 people who, and we have 4 half-time positions, which are 2 full-time positions, and we have 2 people. So we have enough bodies and enough work to even it off.
Al,
I think what you're not getting, I think if I understand you, is that the person who is now our .5 assessment will continue to be .5 assessment and pick up possibly the .5 of seed or one of the other .5s. And the person who will be the world language department head will come from the teachers at the high school. One of the
Current
world
teaching
language
staff.
teachers will be the department head.
teaching staff.
Right.
Thank you.
We're all on the same page
Yeah,
there.
I think
We all got that one, right? Yeah, this is the 3rd time around.
Well, it may be that the word new is what is prompting some of the questions, when in fact you have existing people that you're, let's say, reassigning, so.
Right, it's the positions that are new, not the people.
Right, so the word new isn't serving us well, okay? I would like to ask about the, the coordinator of this, I'm sorry, the grant writer and administrator. It says non-certified. Would that person be a member of the collective bargaining unit, or?
No, that would not be my thought. This would be one of those non-affiliated positions. I'm sure that we have people in town who are great writers and would do that job. I'm looking for that to be a full-time job for someone who would do that. It would not be someone in any of the collective bargaining units. It would be an additional position.
So more than likely that, in fact, would be a net gain of a person coming in and from outside the existing organization.
Right now, we have an administrator doing that position, right? So
I'm sorry.
There would- so it wouldn't.
Not announcing his retirement, I'm just meaning, I thought he wasn't going to, never mind. I understand, maybe I confused everybody, but I think I got it. So we would be hiring from the outside for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mrs. Bush?
I just want some clarification on the 1-year seed position, seed evaluator. If I understand correctly, the first year is the year where everyone has to be evaluated. In the future years, can you explain why the seed evaluator probably would not be needed?
Right now, no, I can't. I'm saying this is definitely for 1 year, at least. But 1 year right now, we know next year is going to be huge. After that year, it goes back to a similar cycle to what we have, because everyone has to have a baseline evaluation where they truly are rated 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 different descriptions there. And then people go through the cycle based on where they are on that. So it will get much, there'll be fewer observations and fewer write-ups and everything every year to do. So we expect it to be much less in the following year.
So it's a possibility that it could just be a 1-year position.
Right now,
And-
that's what we're thinking.
Okay, there's, what I'm trying to get is an explanation that there is a motivation for just 1 year, so it's not going to mushroom into year after year after year.
I would be surprised, but again, seed is a surprise. So
is.
we don't know, but that right now, looking at that, we know next year is the big year.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Were these changes rolled out to, like administration or whoever you would meet with to discuss this?
Yes.
What kind of feedback did you get?
Change is difficult. Some people realize that we do need some change and need to move things closer. I don't think the administrators are happy overall in terms of this, because we've had 6 coordinators for a long time doing the work, and there's a comfort in the way we've always done things. I'm looking to get the work again, flatten that hierarchy, get it closer to the teachers, That's not, my motivation is not anything against the work that's been done or the people in positions. My motivation is truly to create those teacher leader positions and get the work closer to the teachers who are doing the work.
Mr. Kemp?
The Director of Business and Finance, is that within the scope of this discussion?
Certainly.
Okay. If I could direct my question to Michael. You've certainly gone through a lot of change in your area of focus. What we're looking at here, is this your envision, or do you have something else in mind that you're looking to implement that we should know about?
Through the chair, no, but at this point, the positions as stated in the organizational chart are where we would like to be. Obviously, we're looking at developing and growing staff within the roles, but this is by structure, position structure, where we want to be.
Do you anticipate housing them all in the central administration building at this time? There's, with the construction going on, are there going to be any changes of the position's function outside of the building that you anticipate?
To you, Mr. Chair, no, sir.
Any final discussion? Ms. Serna?
Do you anticipate, you have to rewrite the Alliance information. Do you anticipate asking for teacher coaches going forward?
I think that of course, principals would like more, but I think where we are right now with teacher coaches is a good place. I would like to continue that in the next Alliance grant. We still have not received definitive information from the state because, of course, their budget hasn't passed. Hopefully ours will be passed before then. I don't wish for something else, but we would know more as soon as the state budget has passed. Right now, we are supposed to get that $671,000 again next year. But in the budget that the governor has proposed, there may be additional funding on top of that for the Alliance grant. And so if that is the case, then there would be a part 2 of the grant. So we would continue on everything we've done in the first year and add other initiatives to that, if there's additional funding.
So your plan is not to, but to just move forward with what you've been doing?
With the 671 right now, based on, that's what they expect us to do. We can look at that, we can change it a little bit, but to do something for 1 year and then do something entirely different for another year doesn't make any sense.
So you would expect to maintain the teacher coaches where they are and consider adding more if there was additional funding?
No. Well, that could certainly be part of the discussion. I haven't discussed that, but there may be additional funding, and so we may do other things. We've talked about the mathematics interventionists. We've talked about all-day kindergarten if we end up going there. We're not sure how much money it's going to be and what it would cover. So we would be looking further on. It can be supplies and things if we need more early literacy intervention kits, those kinds of things. So there's a lot of things out there that are research-based, and we would be looking to the state to give us feedback on our grant and our results of this year's grant and input into next year direction.
Is the effect of the teacher coaches measurable?
Right now it's anecdotal. Last year they gave the board a report. This year they're actually in process. I've read the first draft of it. They're in process of doing that. So yes, it's measurable in terms of teachers that say, wow, I could never have done this before.